starts in an unprecedented way. Our main character, Hanzai, was standing in the middle of the city with his little puppy, and a guy was destroying the city and was killing people with his huge contracted creatures. He was feeling really good doing this. Hanzai with his classmates was running to seek a safe place, but then the guy blocks their way and tells them that his snake is hungry and is looking for some young students to eat. The giant snake leaps at them. Hanzai tells everyone to run in separate directions. He had no other option but to hold them back. Suddenly 3 giant lions appears before him, and with their one strike, he flies away and crashes badly on some furniture. He gets up. His classmates looks at him but decides to inform the teacher about the matter. Even in all this tense situation, Hanzai actually had a smile on his face. He was happy that now there was no one in between them. The guy had a giant red dragon. Then the little puppy Hanzai starts transforming into something else. The guy's lion attacks him, but with one kick, Hanzai knocks down even him. The body of the lion was below his feet, and the little puppy was now a ferocious large dog behind him. He calls the puppy Dao and asks him to not use any foul language this time. Let's take a look into who Hanzai really is. He was somehow teleported to the current world about 19 years ago from his real world. After a long wait, finally it was his day to make contract with a beast. Everyone had their own requirements for contracts. Some were confident, others were nervous. 2 of Hanzai's classmates were talking about him. They were trying to guess how strong his contracted beast will be, as he was best liberal arts student this year and has strong mental power. They predicts that he might become a legendary figure in the future. Hanzai was clearly pissed hearing all this. Then they starts talking about Wang Kai, who was second after Hanzai. His family background was also good, but still they considers him weaker than Hanzai. Wang Kai was actually hearing all this and was miffed. He goes to Hanzai and asks him to check whose beast is better after the contract is done. Hanzai tells him that he is not interested and leaves. Wang Kai was even more after this interaction. It was finally the time. They were all standing under a huge tower. It was the famous contract tower. Everyone, including Hanzai, was amazed to see how spectacular it is. Suddenly, Hanzai hears a voice, and it was asking him what does he want. Hanzai remembers that the teacher mentioned that it is the contract tower and his spiritual resonance space. He realizes that the contract tower was talking to him. To answer the tower's question, he was about to ask for what he wants, but suddenly he hears the teacher's voice, instructing him to go inside the tower and make contract as it was his turn. He steps in and stands on the magic circle, which was the switch to open the entire contract tower. He teleports to a very mysterious place. It was looking heavenly, and in front of him was the contract hall. He bites his thumb and advances towards it. He drops his blood into the water kept there, and then a beam of light flashes from the sky. And then a lot of bubbles comes out of the sky. Hanzai was wondering why he was getting so many while actually a person could make contracts with 5 creatures maximum. Then one of the bubbles turned red. Hanzai could feel that it was a special one. So, he grabs it, and then when he opens his fist, he had a luminous sign in his palm. He names his creature Yoga. Thus, the contract was finally done. It was the last spark for people to fight against nature. Originally, this planet was a parallel world that was nearly identical to Earth. But decades ago, fog began to cover the entire planet. Since then, the remaining creatures except humans have undergone mutations, and the space for human activities has been greatly compressed. And these creatures were hunting humans. Just when people built high walls to resist the fog and mutated creatures, the contract tower appeared. That's how the contracts came into being. People who mastered the driving of giant beasts gradually had the capital to fight against nature. Some people believed that it was the end of the world, while others said that it was God's punishment for human beings' contempt for nature. As per Hanzai, it was just survival of the fittest. Everybody was having some sort of contract with some kind of creature. The blonde girl from before was crying as her creature was actually a grass. Their teacher tells them that students who have contracted with weaker creatures should not be discouraged. They might not be special force, but they were also an indispensable new force for the country. Some students questions him why they all always contract with foreign beasts. The teacher yells them that, not only them but people all over China are also curious to know the answer to this. But for some reason, very few people can make contracts with domestic beasts. Moreover, once in a while, there is a person and divine beast contracted to the country, and they are all pitifully weak. A red lightning was striking the tower top while Hanzai was making contract. Even the teacher was scared to see that. When the other students asks him what the matter is, he tells them that all of this is happening because Hanzai have contracted to a divine beast. Wang Kai was more jealous than anyone else. The mayor and his men were observing all this. Everyone in the city were aware that someone is contracting with an unbelievable creature. A big guy was harassing a person to take his contracted beast. He sees it happening as well. Hanzai was nervous. Then finally his beast appears. It was a little puppy. Hanzai feels disappointed after getting just a regular earth dog. He remembers that when he was a child in his previous life, his family raised a cat that looked really similar. He holds the dog and pats it gently but was still disappointed. The next door opens and he enters there. A window projection appears before him. It congratulates him for successfully making a contract with Swallow, the god dog. Hanzai was shocked to see this as the dog seems to be an ordinary dog unlike stated. Then it asks him if he wants to open the beginner's gift pack now or wait for it. He thinks about it and presses no. The tower's exit door finally opens and Hanzai comes out of it. Everyone was expecting it to be some big ferocious beast, but when they sees Hanzai holding a little puppy, they bursts to laugh and makes fun of him. Hanzai does not replies anything and keeps walking. The students were now preferring to be friend with Wang Kai as he now has a huge beast. Wang Kai blocks Hanzai way and tells him to go back to his gutter. Wang calls his beast Behemoth. It was huge, but Swallow was also staring at it with anger. On the other hand, that big guy was also looking for his next prey after killing that person. His bat located Hanzai's position and they were now ready to go to hunt him down. Wang Kai was ready to fight with Hanzai. People gathered around them to witness it. Swallow was angry, but Behemoth was looking dangerous. It charges towards Hanzai. Swallow also jumps off him and red sparks were coming out of its body. Behemoth tries to strike him with its claw, but suddenly something hits him and he falls down. No one could see what happened. Wang Kai runs to him and asks Hanzai what did he do to his beast. Then suddenly their teacher comes in and finishes the fight. He tells Wang Kai to not be too complacent with his beast or he will not achieve anything in his life. He pulls Wang Kai's ears and scolds him for using the contracted beast so carelessly, due to which now it was exhausted.